Well, good morning, everybody. Today is my day off. It's a Friday, and I decided, if you can probably tell from the Western flair in the music, I'm going to be heading up to Virginia City, Nevada. And as we drive up the hill, which has got a lot of switchbacks, I'm going to explain a little bit about Virginia City from some of the things that I pulled off the web. So anyway, here we go. So enjoy the ride. So I started up the hill. A little bit of history about Virginia City. First of all, before it was Virginia City, there was a much mining going on up in the hills, up in what they call Virginia Highlands. And Virginia City itself is actually sitting on top of several mines that were there first of all before the city was even in the planning stages. So what happened was they started building a few buildings around the old mine, and from folklore, from story, one guy tripped over, spilled some whiskey, and Virginia City was born. At least that's the folklore story. Who knows if it's the truth, but anyway, they actually had the whole mountain honeycombed with mining. So they started building the structures and flattening out some of the land. All of these mines are on a hillside, or I should say a mountainside. The entire area doesn't have a piece of level ground anywhere, especially back in the 1800s. So it took a lot of engineering just to get everything secure enough to actually build the city. Once they started building the city and there started to be services there for everybody, the population started growing. Started out around 1,000 people in the mines, got up to 4,000 within a year or so, and then as the city started growing, and at the high peak of its mining capabilities, with everybody there in support as well as the miners, the population got as high as 25,000 people, biggest city in the state. I mean, Las Vegas didn't exist, Reno didn't exist, Virginia City was the place. There were a couple of other areas that were mining, but Virginia City had the most mines. And if you live here, like I've had for a number of years, I've been able to drive around and see that the whole area, if you look at almost every hillside, there's some leftover diggings from the mines that have been going in. So to build Virginia City and also to build the mines, all the wood structures that it took for the supports, they had to actually eliminate a mountain full of trees. It's completely bare now, where at one time it was completely forested. If you look around the hills, around the Reno and Sparks area and Carson City, almost all the mountains have pine trees, firs, and all the other things going on. And when you get to Peavine, which is the mountain that they used for building, for structure building, they completely combed it clean, and it still hasn't gotten back today. You know, more than 100 years later, the mountain is still bare. So anyway, quite a history of Virginia City. They has also a number of fires, which at one time, I think it was 1875, burned a square mile of the city. And of course, you know, everything was made out of wood, so everything burned up like a Kindle fire. But the city recovered and kept on going. So nowadays, present time, the population in Virginia City is only about 850 people, so obviously nowhere where it used to be, but quite an interesting place considering it's built on a hillside. And when I get up there, I'll film around a little bit and show everybody how uneven the whole area is. It's quite interesting. All right, I'll talk to you in a minute. I thought I'd cut back. So you can see, I don't know if you can see really well here, but in the distance, way in the distance, you can see Reno, Nevada. And as you go into South Reno, you can see where the freeway picks up and starts going down toward Carson City. Quite a viewpoint when you get up here and walk around. Quite a few different things to see. So here we are in Virginia City, Population 62,000, or excuse me, elevation 62,000 feet. And we're going to go right on down the main drag here of Virginia City. And we got the local tram to take you around. It always amazes me coming into town, all of these old buildings. Many of them are original to the time of the 1800s. And of course, you know, you got to kind of picture everything with dirt roads, horses and buggies, even the time, you know, before the time that the automobile came around. So literally you're looking at a very level road going into, although we're going uphill going into town, but you have to imagine that this hillside was really steep and they had to bring in a lot of dirt. And when I walk around and go off the streets a little bit here off the main drag, you're going to see just how steep this thing was built. And you know, many of the buildings here that survived the fires because they were brick. And if you've noticed, a lot of the buildings here from side to side, as we're at central downtown Virginia City, they are brick. So the ones that are wood probably have been rebuilt, but the fire did come down through here and burn a great deal of the city. Being it's a Friday and it's early, there's not quite as many people out as there normally is. You get here on a weekend and it's really stacked, just a lot of people walking. So this should be pretty fun walking around here today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to park the van, and I will be back with you here in a couple of minutes as we take a walk down the boardwalk of Virginia City. Of course, nowadays, a lot of the stores are all like tourist type attractions and different things going on. So what makes it quite fascinating is they're using these old buildings and what originally was some other type of business, and you know, making all kinds of tourist type things out of it. You can see, like here up above, they're adding on to this old building, and this one looks like more of a modern building than ones that were from the past, which we'll get closer to as we go on down the road here. So across the way here, the original fire station from the 1800s.
Where are you from?
I think during the time that this was the only equipment to put out a mile-long fire in Virginia City. It's quite amazing when you think about it. It's kind of hard to walk and film because the wood is so uneven.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Where'd you get it, Mom?
I thought I'd go ahead and stop and film from this vantage point so you can kind of get an idea just how mountainy Virginia City is. All out there in that mountain range and surrounding the hills, including over to that cemetery in the far distance over there, is all mines. And if you turn around and look back up here at the city, you can see that the mountains just keep going up above as you go street by street and go above the mountain range. So quite an interesting view from here, and just realizing the type of engineering that it had to take back in the 1800s to actually accomplish putting a city up here. The Bucket of Blood, one of the original saloons to Virginia City, dating back all the way practically to its inception. So we're going to go inside and just take a quick peek. Including is a large picture window where you can see out about 100 miles. And it wouldn't be a trip to Virginia City without seeing Virginia City's famous donkey and miner.
Yeah, you know, they need training,
Another landmark is the Silver Queen Saloon and Hotel. And you'll see if I can go inside and take a look.
Grandma, we'll do the photo. My phone lost the email.
Okay, well, this is a really vertical set of stairs from the street going up to the hotel. So I'm going to stop filming and then film when I get to the top. So this is the inside of the hotel. Everything is original from the 1800s. And you can actually stay here at night. It is a regular operating hotel. And it's just amazing, the woodwork. A little spiral staircase all the way on up. We're going to go up another set of stairs here. You can see that when we get up to the stairs, there are rooms upstairs. So I'm going to jump up there and film real quick. Oh, you can see, you can look down where the rooms are down below. And then up here, a skylight that I think they probably put in and maybe wasn't there originally. And supposedly this hotel is haunted. So there are ghost stories for certain rooms that are up here in this hotel. So another reason for why I would want to stay is to see possibly spooky ghosts. All right, back out to the street.
Oh, stop. They're beautiful. They're nice and thick.
I'm going to go ahead and end my video here in Virginia City. It's been fun to come up and take a look around. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you like, please like. And if you'd like to subscribe, please do. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later.